every time I never want to go on an apology tour to apologize to everybody that I met in that season. But man, it was bad to know me. Like I really was draining, even just draining for myself, but people that was around me. Like, and so I try to do my best to live my life right now. It's like the biggest apology to anybody that ever dealt with me back then. 'Cause I don't want to just hit anybody up like, hey, I'm sorry. I don't know where they are. So it's like, let me just be the best I can, even with some minor slip ups. I'm learning from them, right? But let me be the best I can right now, and that's like the best apology to anybody that ever dealt with me. It may not be the most like best apology, but it's all I can do.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flip That Switch. I am your host, Brandon, aka B to the Sis Naive, and we back with another episode. If you didn't get a chance to go back and watch the previous episode, please go back and watch it. But today we're going to be diving into a new episode. And the guy that I'm going to be interviewing today is someone that I had the pleasure of meeting when we went to the Sarah's Oil premiere in Atlanta. If you guys haven't seen Sarah's Oil, please go watch it. Great movie, very inspiring. We've actually seen the movie 3 times now. We've been to 2 premieres, and then of course we went and supported and watched it when it came out last weekend, which was opening weekend. So just a good movie about an 11-year-old girl who was inherited some land, and on that land there was a lot of oil, and she faced a lot of opposition from people that wanted the land, they wanted the oil, but she persevered through it. She never gave up, and now she at 11 years old she became a millionaire. So I don't want to give the movie away too much, but man, y'all please go back and watch it. But while I was out there in Atlanta, I had the pleasure of meeting some great people. One of those people is the guy that I'm talking to today. So he's a guy out here just getting it, living life, grinding. He's engaged, working, and trying to be a good family man. And really, I think the conversations that I've had with him, I could just tell that he's very mature for his age and that he's really ready for the future. He's ready to just do his thing, ready for the family, ready for the American dream, and God-fearing man, really in touch with his relationship with God. And so I thought he'd be the perfect person to come on and get his journey, so maybe he can inspire and impact someone else who is his age and maybe kind of going through some similar things. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my new homie, Elijah. What's up, my boy?
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Well, thanks again for joining the show, man. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And you ready to dive right in?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right, cool. So Elijah, man, how are you mentally? Talk to us a little bit about what your mental is right now. Where are you at in life right now mentally?
Yeah, mentally, man. I'm delusional. I'll explain that. I'm delusional because life is life at the end of the day. So you're gonna face life obstacles. And I really wasn't taught on how to face those. I mean, not many people are taught, but I didn't have that family structure of helping me, face certain things that I go through on a daily basis. So I'm doing the best I can. I think in college I didn't know how to necessarily let out my emotions, so it kind of came to a mental health crisis for me. I'll be honest, at 20 years old. So with learning how to not get back there and to give my emotions, to submit my emotional state to Jesus, man, I'm blessed. I literally deal with the 24 hours I have. Can't do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I call it delusional, because sometimes some people are like, I'm dealing with this, and this. I may be dealing with this, and this, but I'm not focusing on it because God hasn't given me the not desire, but since I submitted my emotional state. If He gives me the emotional clarity to focus on that, then He says focus on it. If not, then I can't focus on it. So I'm doing the best I can delusionally.
I hear that. Man, I like that you said that. Talk to me a little bit about where you were on the other side of that, right? Because now you saying you're at a point where if God hasn't told you to focus on it, you're not focused on it. So talk to me a little bit about in the past, what were you doing before you came to realize that, you know what, I'm going to kind of not worry about this, not worry about tomorrow, just allow God to lead and guide me. But obviously it took a while for you to get to that point, right? So what was going on in your head and your mind before you got to that revelation?
Bro, it was my entire life leading up to real prime adulthood. I would say until I was 23. I just turned 27 like a week and a half ago, November 2nd. And
Happy birthday, by the way.
thank you.
Yeah.
I hope you said it, uh, but I think I was trying to, as a man, you're told that you're going to have a lot on your back.
Mm,
I was literally trying to carry the entire world while not still understanding what my world meant. Like I said in the beginning, I wasn't, and it's never anything against my family, but just being very honest, I wasn't. I was raised correctly. My grandmother prayed for me. I was in church every Sunday, right? But I still kind of took a different route. It wasn't drugs and all that other stuff, but it was diving deep into fornication. It was diving deep into X-rated videos. It was diving deep into things that I got freedom, right? So when I got that freedom to go to college away from home, I started wilding a little bit, but that wilding actually like became very dangerous because I was dealing with different worlds I didn't know anything about. I was just talking to my fiance about like there was so much that we didn't understand, so many different everything spiritual. I was
mm,
diving spiritual things I didn't even know I was touching. So even to this day, some of those things they don't haunt me, but they still come up sometimes. Like, dang, okay, this is what I was doing to get away from that. Let's stay on that path, because I'm not perfect, but I think what I was trying to do was handle it myself, and with that, everything from childhood came up, everything from my teenage years came up, and I'm just like, yo, I'm 20 years old. I should not be. Mind you, I'm in college. I had no worries. Like when you're in college, you're just working. I ran track in college. I was very, very good. So I had no worries. I was good, but I
yeah.
still mentally was just. It was so bad, man. And every time I never want to go on an apology tour to apologize to everybody that I met in that season. But man, it was bad to know me. Like I really was draining, even just draining for myself, but people that was around me. Like, and so I try to do my best to live my life right now as like the biggest apology to anybody that ever dealt with me back then. 'Cause I don't want to just hit anybody up like, hey, I'm sorry. I don't know where they are. So it's like, let me just be the best I can, even with some minor slip ups. I'm learning from them, right? But let me be the best I can right now and that's like the best apology to anybody that ever dealt with me. It may not be the most like best apology, but all I can do.
Yeah. If you don't mind, so what were some of the things that you were doing, as far as like that you feel like you would need to apologize for? I mean, you don't have to get too detailed, but
Yeah,
kind of talk a little bit about what were some of those things that if you told yourself, if I had to do it all over again, I would have done these differently, or if people looked back over my life, those people that I'm apologizing for, what are some of those things that you regretted?
man, my emotional state, like how I reacted and responded to things.
Okay.
Cheating. That's one of the biggest things too. Like there was so much I was doing. Um, what else? Yeah, it was mainly just my emotional state because my emotional state wasn't good.
Yeah.
Nothing else was. My physical was okay. I was running cool. I could have ran better. My emotional state just took over everything. But I just think me leaving home, me leaving Gary, Indiana to go to school in Ohio, I didn't have anybody. Like, I don't know. No one in my went to college, so I didn't necessarily have anybody. I had FAFSA hitting me up. I'm just like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing. Like no one guided me on anything, so I was doing the best I could with what I had, right?
Yeah.
But that just trickled into me just going finding idols that would give me like that peace that I was wanting so bad, not knowing it was with Jesus. At that time I knew of him, just didn't know him for myself. I didn't dive deep. I was in college. I was not worried about that. I'm sorry, right? But yeah, it was mainly just my emotional state and how I treated people. And I wasn't out here just blatantly cussing people out. I was a good guy. People say, oh, I'm a good guy. But I had my own motives at the end of the day. I knew what I wanted to get. I knew how I was going to get it. And if I didn't get it, I'll go find it somewhere else, right? So I was a good guy, but I was hiding behind that good guy being sort of manipulative. I'll just say it, manipulative.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good point that you brought up. You were a good guy, but it's all about like your character, right? Because you can be a good guy on the outside, and then your character is what really speaks to people, right?
Hmm.
Would you say that your character and how you were did that impact some of the relationships and friendships that you have
Yeah,
had?
Yep.
Okay.
I still, I mean, even to this day, it's hard for me to keep like genuine friendships due to the fact that I'm just such a emotional being. Still, I know how to handle my emotion now. I make videos now. I get it out. Back then I didn't have. That's the thing. Back then I didn't have my platform. I was just a normal. I'm still normal, but I didn't have Instagram. I didn't have TikTok. I didn't have YouTube and my own podcast. I didn't have it to do. So everything that was in my head, that was in my head. It was really stressing me out that I didn't have an outlet. No one would listen to me, right? I knew of Jesus. So it's like, I knew
Yeah.
some teachings that I wanted to just talk. No one wanted to talk about that. I was like, and I get it because I didn't want to talk about it, but I knew about it. So it was just so much that I had in my head that I just could not get out. And those, being that nice guy, I was compromising. Right? I was
Mm.
compromising, to it's something in the Bible that says, well, no, I heard a teaching from Pastor Philip that like if you fear the Lord, you'll submit to Him, but if you fear man, you're gonna submit to man. So whatever
Mm.
you fear, you end up submitting to. So I was fearing the judgment of man. I wanted to fit in so badly. So with me fitting in, I was submitting to the world because I wanted them to accept me. So with fitting in came to continue, because when you fit in with the world, you got to keep trying because they change every single day. So I got to, okay, what's the trend today? What I got to do today? And I'm not gonna lie, bro. It just ended last year. I'll keep it 100. It just ended last year when God really got me right on all aspects of life. He got me right, and it was like, okay. It was like a enough is enough moment for God. Just like, okay, Elijah, your heart has been hardened. You know me. You speak about me, but you don't talk to me in private. It was my private worship. I was publicly affirming Him so easily, like, oh, God this. You know what I'm saying? Waiting on my God fearing woman, and He gave me so many. So we thought, and I was, oh yeah, yeah. He like, come on. So I was affirming Him in publicly. Privately, I was not. So my
Mm.
private worship has gotten so much better. I still publicly affirm Him. I still do, but same things that I do, but it's with a different heart, it's with a different character. So bring you back to character. My character has been changed crazy. Certain things that I would do last year, the year before then, that I would not do now. Like I'm okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome, dude.
yeah,
And don't even apologize about it being a situation where this just happened last year. I mean, some people, they haven't even arrived yet. So the fact that you are in a position where you've kind of leaned on God, and now you're acknowledging Him in public and private, and you're taking the necessary steps to really refocus your energy on Him. I mean, there's not a time frame on it. God is not the time. God is not the type of guy that'd be like, you know what, you better come to me tomorrow. He's
hmm
gonna give you an opportunity to do it on your, when on your time. Now, of course, obviously, ideally, would He want you to come tomorrow? Yeah, but we're all human. We all have the world to deal with. We all have the enemy to deal with. We all have these idols that we have to deal with, that we have to overcome and persevere through. The world, social media, like we've been brainwashed to think that the world is the way to go. If you're following God, you're being it's boring. You're not having fun. I mean, we are taught to think so many things. So the fact that you can acknowledge that you are in a space now where you are acknowledging Him and your relationship with Him is growing and stronger, that's nothing but respect for you for that.
I
It
appreciate it.
takes people, sometimes it takes people a while to get there, bro.
I know, and doing that at 27, bro, is
Yeah.
it's a little bit difficult sometimes. But I kind of took my eyes off of like what does a perfect Christian look like?
Mm,
Christian. I want to be a disciple. That's what Matthew
yeah.
28 says: go out and make disciples of all nations, right?
Yeah.
And so once I changed it from Christian to disciple, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm still a Christian. That's still my workup, but I want to be a disciple. I want to teach people about what I've learned through my life. My life is scripture, bro. I live it, and I didn't know I was living it until my longtime friend. She was at the movie premiere too. She was in the bus with us. Lee.
Okay.
She had told me like, Elijah, you live so much scripture. You just haven't put it to scripture yet. And since I've been getting my scripture and I've been getting very good theologically, I'm like, wow, I lived that.
Yeah.
Not to always. I don't know if I'm saying the right word. Not to always actually exegete things. I think exegete means like to read the word for your own and put it into your own life. I think either eisegete or exegete. I forget, but I don't want to always read the word and like always put it towards my life. I actually do want to read the word and see like, okay, this was about Paul at this time, and he was writing to this church, But sometimes I'd be like, dang, like this is what I'm living right now. Like this is
Mhm.
what you know what I'm saying. This is what the world is going through. The living word. Yeah.
Yeah,
The li-
no, for sure. For sure. So you talk a little bit about your upbringing. You said that you didn't have a terrible childhood. Did you have both parents in the house? Okay, so you was it just your mom or your dad or
it's my mother. I'm the oldest of five, so it was five of us in a home, and she did the best she could. But there was things that I like. I grew up fast, and it wouldn't be the way everybody else said. Mine was just I grew up emotionally fast. So without having so going back to college, like my emotions was crazy. But when I was
yeah
at home before I left for college, I had to be emotionally mature. There were things my parent was going through that I was helping with that I'm not gonna say I shouldn't have been helping with, but at 12, 13, 14, I should not be having the conversations I had with my parent at that age. You know what I'm saying? I should be knowing these things, but I knew them, and I'm talking about like from evictions to I'm like my parents breaking down, but I'm like, yo, we can't break down. We got 2 hours, mind you. I have four other siblings, so I have rooms to pack. I'm like, whatever. You stay here, I'll do it. So I'm
yeah
packing up stuff. I'm trying to keep the best attitude I can. But like, yo, this is embarrassing. I'm getting evicted, and I have
yeah
school people look at my people from my school. I'm like, yo, you don't know what I got to deal with at school, you know.
yeah
Um, I ain't never talked about this. I was like, you never know what I had to deal with at school. So it's like, yeah, it may whatever you're going through in your adult life. I mean, now I get it. I'm an adult. I get it, right? But it was just like, I was too young to have to put all that. I put it all on me. So
mhm,
it was just a lot, bro. And me and her, I mean, she's kind of the reason. My mother's kind of the reason why I'm here in Ohio. She kicked me out when I graduated college. I went back home, and when I went back
okay
home, she kicked me out. Because we've always butted heads emotionally. Because she's an emotional being too. We don't ever see eye to eye. But I changed in college. I changed a lot, just from what I was going through. So when I got back home, I was a lot more like melancholy. I was chilling.
yeah
I left school having my own home to go back home to sleep in her living room on an air mattress, no
mhm,
job, just graduated college. So I'm like, I'm not doing the best financially, but I got my family. Like I'm good. Like I can go to my siblings and get a hug if I needed one.
right
But she has her own thing she was going through, and one day it just kind of blew up, and I kind of blew up back about what everything I went through. Well, I just told you, like because we never talked about it. It was always swept under the rug. So I'm like, let's talk about it now. Why not? Let's do it. And we kind of got into it. She kicked me out. It was all on social media because I was on live when it happened. Because
okay
no one ever believed me when it went down. So I'm like, I'm gonna just go live. I had a bit of a following then. I'm like, let's go live. You know, I kind of put all my business out there and shouldn't have, but with people watching, certain people watched and they got me a job in Philadelphia. So I worked in Philadelphia for an entire year, no rent, no anything, just got paid. So I was able to save up money, ended up moving here after a year. So I just kind of been just going, going, going. And I
yeah
think the beginning of the year, really, no, the middle of this year was the first time I actually sat down and was like, whoa. When I actually
mhm,
thought about proposing to my fiance, I'm like, whoa, life has just been moving. I have not taken time to actually sit down and breathe and think. So I finally been able to breathe and think. It's like, dang, like I went from getting kicked out to getting my own place within a year to being here, working in the medical field, no experience at all. They trust me enough to work in the medical field. Been doing it for 4 years now. Just like the what God can do for you, right? When He sits you down. Although when He sat me down, I did not fully listen. I still got here and did what I wanted to do, and wasn't what I'm saying praising Him publicly. Privately, I was ignoring Him. Didn't care to pray. Didn't care to fast. None of those things. But I
mhm.
just think it's maturing. And just that character building for sure.
No, for sure, man. Wow,
Yeah.
what a journey, man. When you were on your own, you got kicked out. Who did you lean on? Did you have anybody to lean on, or was it kind of just like you against the world? Talk to me a little bit about who was like your who was the source for you at the time at that point.
A good question, bro. Because I'm sorry I ain't mentioned her since the beginning. Since the beginning. My grandmother, man. My grandmother has been the only one in my family, besides my siblings and my uncle and grandfather who lives with her. She's been the only one that has contacted me out of my family. My grandmother was the one that raised me before I lived with my mother. My grandmother was the one that named me. She's the one that instilled the word in me. The ones that I actually soaked up. But my grandmother was the one I leaned on. She's the one I called on when I got kicked out. She came and got me, pulled up at her old age, still moving, still walking. She pulled up, and no matter what I call her for, she's there, you know.
Mm.
And that's my angel in flesh, because I think everything that I went through here in this space that I live in now, and leading up to my engagement and so on and so forth, it's because of my grandmother. Yes, it's the workings of the Lord, but my grandmother, her prayer life is so important to her. So I know she prays for me. So I know that there's a scripture. I'm not good with putting scripture to scripture, but I know there's a scripture that says, pray him into the hands of the enemy, right? And in a sense, I feel as though my grandmother kind of like, because I didn't tell her everything, but I knew she knew what I was going through. So it was
Mhm.
like praying him into the hands of the enemy, not to be broken down, but to see that the sin that he's all in, the sin that he's loving isn't it, right? So in a sense, I felt myself falling into the hands of the enemy. Not saying I was obeying him, but I'm like, yo, I'm falling deeper into sin, falling deeper into lust, I'm falling deeper into fornication. What is going on? I'm out grown age. I can't blame nobody. This is me. So when I told her, and I went home in July to tell her like that I'm buying a ring here and there, I'm about to propose. It's on video. She said, like, I've been praying. I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. Now we ain't gotta go deep into it, grandma, but I know you've been praying because I felt
Yeah.
it. I felt the shift, the change, man. But my grandmother has been the I don't want to say the only person, but that I know of, the only person that in my family that has been contacting me and reaching out and just trying to see if I'm okay, because I am far from home. So yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Wow. I love it. I love when people talk about. I love when people just give certain people the flowers that they deserve, man.
yeah.
Because I don't think we do that enough. We'll sit here and harp on the negative and
Hmm.
what experience and who did what to us. And when it comes down to it, man, the I think the most important thing is not the bad that was done to us, but who was there to be there for us in those moments.
Yeah,
You know what I
who's
mean?
still
Yeah, bro. Yeah. And so I think that is so important to give people their flowers. Like your grandmother, she was the backbone for you.
here?
She was, like you said, your angel. She was there. And I've talked to people several times that said, my grandparents, they raised me, they were there for me, they did all this. And you don't even expect them to do that. Like, here it is, your grandparents are supposed to be chilling, they're in retirement, they're supposed to just be sitting back, not having any worries,
Hmm.
not having to bear the burdens of what's going on in the family, and yet and still at their big old ages, they got to take it on. And so just really a true respect and a admiration for that, because like what would have done if she wasn't there?
Literally
You know?
from birth, bro. Like what would I like? Literally, I wasn't with my mother at birth.
Yeah.
My grandmother came and got me. I'm like, yo, like I could have been a product of the system from that day. So my
Wow.
grandmother coming to get me, like, wow, like, and I tell her that all the time, like, thank you, like, and it's no wonder me and her are so close. Like, I can feel that with her.
Yeah. No, for sure. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
So how's the relationship with you and your mom today? Are y'all close? Are y'all
Yeah,
how's
man.
that?
I love my mom, bro. I do, and it's taken me some years to be able to say that confidently, man. But for me to be able to love my fiance, my wife, fully, wholly, and without and unapologetically, I had to mend that relationship with my mom. Now we
Mm,
don't talk. We don't talk. I tried to go back home in July when I went back home. Went home for 24 hours. Literally, I don't like being there. I stepped over the threshold she kicked me out of for the first time. I stepped over it, and that was some realization I realized when I got back here. I was like, damn, I went back into that crib, but I went back in there a whole different person, you know. And I didn't see her. She said she was asleep or whatever the case may be. Without going too deep, I didn't see her, didn't talk, and I can still feel the fact that she She doesn't. She It's a lot that she got to say to me. She hasn't said, and I'm open to talking. I just don't hit her up because it's not the same. Not the same anymore. I don't hit up any of both my parents. I don't. I just when I forgive, right? I'm not saying I don't forget, but I forgive. It's just very hard for me to, hey, what you doing? How are you? It's not realistic for me because when I was younger, y'all could have done that, but y'all didn't do that. And I know, and they're. I get adulthood now. I get it. I'm an adult, but it's like, yo, like now I have the choice to sit back and chill, and y'all making me feel bad for not hitting y'all up. Like I'm cool. Like I'm good. If I ever need anything, I mean, you guys are my parents. I will come to y'all, right? But I'm fine. I got my grandmother, But me and my mother don't talk now. So it's
Yeah.
kind of, but I'm okay. I don't look at my fiance as my mother at all. I don't look at her for those things. But in my past life, I was looking for my mom in different women, which sounds so weird, but it's a real thing. Like that relationship with my mom was not mended. Oh, it was a lot that I was needing.
Yeah.
Now I'm not needy. Because I have that sense of comfort in the fact knowing that I have wiped my hands clean and I'm good.
Yeah.
There are things that I
Yeah.
want to apologize for that I wrote her a note last year, and that's the first time we talked, and actually the last time we talked. I wrote her a note. She texted me. That was it. We've never talked on the phone since. We haven't talked face to face since 2022. I think that was what that was.
Wow.
Which sounds so crazy. It's my mother, but man, I'm in a great place mentally, and I'm open to talking to her. It's just not the same, Like
Yeah.
my whole life I see my mom as my friend, anyways. I didn't disrespect her like my friend, when we went at it, so and so. But like I said, my grandmother is the one that raised me. My mother was super cool, So I had that kind of balance with my grandmother and my mother. But yeah, man, one day maybe when me and my fiance, I mean my wife at the then, we have children. I'm not gonna be disrespectful and you're never gonna be able to meet your grandchildren. No, this is your grandmother. But when it comes to just relationally, we just gonna go back to wherever we live and keep it at that.
No, I feel you because I'm in the same boat with my dad. Like for me, it's like I've forgiven him, no hard feelings. Like if he were to hit me up today, I wouldn't be, I'd talk to him and
Right.
stuff like that. But for me, it's like, man, you really wasn't there in the critical years when I needed you to be. And so now, like, I'm this grown adult. There's nothing that I really need at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't, I don't need a father son relationship at my age of 41. Like, some people do.
Yeah.
Some people do. Some people welcome it with open arms, and I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it's like I'm not gonna make the effort to be like, you know what, I want to establish this relationship because it's like those critical years that would have been nice for you to be there have gone,
Mhm.
have long gone. They've come and gone.
Yep.
They're in the rear view, and so I get exactly what you're saying. All I would say to you is that I think, and I said this in a previous episode,
Mhm.
when you get ready to have your family, that's when things are going to come full circle because you'll take a look, you'll see like as your future wife raises you guys as kids, you'll see the difference. It'll be a full circle moment,
Mhm.
and how you raise your family, how you treat your family, it'll be different than what you longed for or what you lacked.
Mhm.
It's the same with me. I have to be there for my daughter to give her a presence and a father and a protector and a support system that I didn't have for mine, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's when the full circle moment is going to come for you. When you get married and then you guys have kids, you're going to see how different things are, you know.
Yeah. I already know. I already
Yeah,
know.
no, for sure, bro. Like it's just going it's that's what keeps you going, right? That's what keeps you waking up. That's what keeps you not thinking about the past and moving forward to the future. It's like, man, I can't wait. I can't wait for the future.
Literally.
And that's how it's gonna be, bro.
Yeah. I
So
think about that. I think about that a lot when I'm like just because now when I think about certain things, before I say anything crazy, before I react crazy, I think now before I do something crazy or say something. I think I have a time to think now, like between right and wrong. And I think
Yeah.
like that, how is this gonna affect my future child? Like, how would this make my wife look? Like if I
Yeah.
say, especially when it comes to social media, like I be trying to do my best not to respond to people's negative comments. I'm like, dang, like my response does matter, you know, and
No, for sure.
silence matters too. And that's why my fiance teaches me a lot. Like Elijah, you don't gotta respond to everything. It never like it's never real. Me and her have never gotten hate in person. No one would ever say anything in person, so it's not real. I never received one hate comment because it's never been in person, you know. So I do my best to think about that when I'm about to react or say something crazy. I just be quiet. You know, I would just, because I think about a lot of like things trickle down to your children. You know, things you don't work out, things you don't get a hold of. It can trickle down to your children. There's things that I dealt with that my mom, and my father, 100% dealt with. They just never faced it. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm cool. I'm facing this. I'm
Yeah.
facing it. I'm not dealing with fornication. I'm not dealing with watching X-rated stuff. No, we're gonna nip that in the bud. So that way, my children, I'm not gonna say that they're not gonna face certain things. 100%. I'm not gonna stop them from it either. I'll be there to teach them. But 100%, that won't be a hidden thing my family go through. No, we're openly talking about it. What are you going through? You know, because I'm such an emotional being that I'm gonna be that emotional father. Like, let's
Yeah.
talk. You know, so yeah,
For sure.
yeah,
All right, so let's talk about this fiance that you got. You mentioned her a couple times, and
yeah.
I first I admire how much you talk about her because without me even asking you a question about her, you just brought her up so many times. So it just goes to really show the impact that she's having on your life and the person that she is and how she is helping you to kind of face some things and overcome some things, but also at the same time help you elevate yourself. So
Yeah.
let's talk about her. Like, how did you meet her? And would you say that before you met her, were you healed from everything that had gone on before you met her, or was it kind of you met her while you were going through some things and she's kind of helped you persevere and overcome it?
Yeah, man, I met her when I was going through things, bro,
Okay.
and she's seen those things because I like I said, like it was easy up until last year. Uh, I respond to everything. So there was
Yeah.
things were being said about me that I don't know to this day, but she knows. You know,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
there was thousands of people that necessarily that hate me. Like I didn't know that. Like I don't do anything to nobody, right? I just
Yeah.
mess up. I just mess up trying to find love. That's the only bad thing I've ever done. So
Mhm.
bad thing. Um,
Yeah.
but she found me in that crazy weird period of time, and she doesn't do social media. She's private. So you're bringing together a very private woman and a not so private open book man. How's that going to work, right?
Mhm.
And he would have never seen me if I wasn't on live the night that she found me. I was on live talking about where I should go for my birthday, and there was like 200 people in there.
Okay.
And he had said like you should come to where I live, like if you like visit if you visit this place, like I live here. And I'm like, okay. And something stuck out because I had been there before, so I'm like, dang, okay. And TikTok is like you got very small pictures when you on live. You can press like, okay, because at the end of the day, I had to see if she was fine. I was like, okay, let me see if she's fine. Okay, and she was fine. So I remember her face. Um, so then I get off and I go to Instagram, not looking for her necessarily, but I just go check, because when you're on live, you gain followers. People go to the other platforms,
Yeah.
and yeah, follow me. I'm like, this is the same woman. So then I,
Yeah.
I follow her back and I go to DM her, but I got sidetracked, swiped out of it, lost her page. I'm
Okay.
trying to go find it. As I'm going to find it, I get a DM. Hey, I was serious. If you ever come to the city I live in, we'd love to do a Bible study. We'd love to talk about what you've gone through. I'm like, you know what? I need this right now. Like, can we talk tomorrow on FaceTime? I want to no boundaries. You know what I mean? No. I want to respect your boundaries. Like, if you're not cool with that, 100%. She's like,
Right.
no, I'm 100%. Let's do it. So we FaceTime one time, and we had a great Bible study, great talk. I was an open book from the jump about what I just went through, and from there, bro, like I think 2 weeks in, I'm like, and mind you, like I'm at that point, I'm having to really talk to God privately, right? Because at
Yeah.
that point, I was getting torn down on social media. where I was the most comfortable talking. So I'm like, dang, okay. I'm talking to God, He's talking to me about her, right? And I'm like, yo, this can't be real. I was, I was in something else, a few months ago. Like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
Ended up asking her, like, hey, I would love to court you, because I didn't understand the difference between courtship and dating, right? I was dating my whole life. I would love to court you. And this is the biggest thing that really was like, wow, because of what she's seen, what she may have heard. I wasn't your particular leadership. I wasn't your particular leader as a man. So for her to
Yeah.
say, she said, I'm looking to submit, and I believe I can submit to you. And I'm like, that's crazy because,
Wow.
whatever's being said, you wouldn't consider me a person to submit to. So I'm like, huh, I can do it. And from day one, she has seen me for God's son. She told me, she said, like, I see you the way that God sees you. I don't see you how they see you. I don't see you with a lens of what I want you to be. I know you can grow into something amazing, but I see you how God sees you. And I'm like, yo. So from that day, I've been vulnerable. I've been growing. She allows me the room to grow. So from who she met last year to who she is about to marry, it's two different people, but she's allowed that space for me to grow. So now and mind you, this is all long distance. We're long distance still.
Okay.
So yeah, but we've been growing over FaceTime, and it hasn't been the easiest, but it's definitely been a love like Christ for sure. Because it's when you keep God the center. This is my first time ever keeping God the center and doing things correctly.
Yeah.
It's not easy, bro. Like it's not. It's harder than keeping him out of it.
Yeah.
It's harder than keeping him out of it because when you're out of it, when he's out of it, you doing whatever. We just
Right.
going, we just I don't know what we going to. We all say marriage, but we ain't talking about the same marriage. So now that he's in a center, there's there's duties that I have to do. There's
Yeah.
duties even in courtship. Courtship leads to marriage, right? People always ask the difference. What's the difference between dating and courtship? Like neither one is biblical, but courtship has the biblical principles that lead to covenant. That's it.
Absolutely.
You want to court, what I'm saying? You should be dating because dating is just unintentional. Courtship is intentional. So this whole time I've had to really grow. And he spoke to me earlier about proposing and covenant. He spoke to me earlier. I'm like, yo, God, I don't know. I don't know. But I didn't fight him too much. So I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it because I felt it. So, I've been one on one with God, just talking to him, communicate with him, fasting through this whole process, man, and it's led to, me proposing October 1st, and it's been amazing, bro. It's literally my best friend, bro. Like my best friend, and we have a lot of emotional moments, and she's not even an emotional gal, but we still be in here crying, just from
Yeah.
from what the Lord has done, and yeah, bro, it's been an amazing journey, man, and for me, I was so focused on what people had to say about me without digging too deep. I'm just like, dang, like, why am I so hated? Why am I so this? It's like Elijah, because you're being obedient. And when you're
Mm.
being obedient to the Lord, you're not going to be liked by the world. They're not going to
Come on.
like you. They're just
Come
going to
on.
have to understand what you're doing. They're going to have to see. So even some of them now are still like, oh, he's engaged now. I am. So my
Yeah.
title changed. My title changed. So when you disrespect me, I'm gonna need my title to be updated too. So, um,
No, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, man. You mentioned that earlier about how like when you're not following him, it's easy. And the reason it's easy is because when you're not following him, there's no need for the enemy to try to attack you because you already in the world. You already doing the stuff anyway. So it's like the enemy's like, well, I don't need to come at him because he's
Mm,
already doing what I want him to do.
right.
Versus when you are following him, the enemy now is putting this extra added pressure on himself to
Yeah.
be like, you know what? Let me see if I can throw this dude off track. Let me see if I can get him in the flesh and out of this, away from the spirit. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And so it's like when you out here not operating within God's will, it's easy. You just like you said, you just living this simple life. You just
mm-hmm,
going out here thinking that leaning onto your own understanding, thinking you got it
mm-hmm.
all together. And God is like, nah, man, I need you to come back to me. But when you come back to him, you got to be careful because the victory is coming back to him, but it's also just as significant to be able to understand and realize that this Christian life is still not going to go without temptation. It's not going to go without the enemy trying to come and throw me off my game. Right.
Yeah,
And so we just got to be very careful that, like, even when we come to Christ, man, like we have to be very careful of the things we do, the things we say, what's in our heart, because those are, like I said, those are your character, those are your values, right? Those are your
literally.
morals.
Yep. I
Um,
had said some. I had said something recently because it was funny because I had said something. People didn't even know I was in courtship. They didn't know that that I just moved forward. You know what I'm saying? You have to
yeah,
move on with life. They didn't know because I would. She was helping me. Elijah, don't share everything. Be
yeah,
quiet. You know, I'm like, you're right. It's better this way, right? So, but as I was doing that, I had noticed that I wasn't. Hold on, I lost it. Hold on. I wasn't. Dang, I lost my thought. I do that all the time, bro. It was such a good thought. Oh, so to keep my other relationships up, I was chasing idols. You know, like I was trying to make more money. I was trying
yeah,
to look a certain way, and when those idols was running away from me, I found myself losing those people. You know, nothing bad about those people. They have things to grow as well.
right.
But I was chasing idols, and I realized that with her, I had to chase God more to
Mm,
know. Right? She was truly consecrated. I had to know the Lord to know her. So if I didn't know the Lord, that wasn't my wife. I wasn't getting that. Right. So and I didn't go to God for her. I was already in that. I was already going through what I was going through. She just came and found me. Right. And I had to be the one to say, huh. He gave me the lenses to see her. So I'm like, okay, this is my wife. Okay. Just from how she spoke to me, how she spoke about me when I wasn't around. How she didn't say anything about me. You know, she's super just like this is my relationship. No one needs to
yeah,
know. You know, and even with the words I say on here, I have to watch because she be on me. Elijah, don't say this, don't say that. So, very, very amazing. But yeah, bro, the more you're in the world, but you start chasing, idols to keep people. That's
no.
not that's not gonna ever last, right? So if I got to get rich to get her, then that's not who you should be with,
Ooh,
right? If you got to get rich to keep a woman,
come
I
on,
think you need to reevaluate the woman you're trying to get with because
come
no,
on.
I'm not rich at all, but I'm 100% rich in the spirit, and my
Yeah,
fiance, so we're both rich. So when we're working towards richness or whatever that is in the world, right? With it being founded through Christ, we're good because we can look the same whether we're rich or not, whether we're building or not. We're gonna look the exact same.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I like what you said about how you courted her. Like, I love the words court and pursue because when I met Destiny, I had that same thing. It was like, man, I'm not finna holler at her. I'm not finna go get at her. I'm not finna spit that game to her. I literally said when I saw her, I'm like, I'm gonna pursue her.
Yep.
It's a different situation, man. You're not even. What's funny is that it's so intriguing that you don't even want to go up to her and just try to tell her what she wants to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You want to just go up to her and have a conversation and be like, man, I feel like you could be the one. Like, let's
Mm-hmm.
talk. Let's just chop it up.
Yep.
It ends up turning into what it turns into, but it's just different when you know somebody's your wife, or you know that this is the woman for you. You kind of attack it a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal. And
Right.
so I like what you said that I courted her, and she was receptive to it and she was already ready, bro. Like, how old is your fiance?
She's 25,
So at the time that you told her you were going to court her, how old was she?
24.
So think about that. A 24-year-old. First of all, she's like, hey, let's do Bible study together.
Mm-hmm.
At 4 years old, not a lot of people are doing that.
Oh. And like actual Bible study, like there was nothing else. Like she like, all right, let's get into the word, and we did. I'm like, okay. I thought maybe we would go talk a little bit, chop it up. No, we the word, share my testimony. But yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just amazing to me that you have this 24-year-old that is like, let's do Bible study. And she's already shown, she's already like, now it kind of all makes sense. Like she was put in your life to show you where you needed to go.
100%. Not to
And
force me. It didn't force
yeah,
me. None of that. I'm
no,
like, yo, like the most beautiful love I've ever experienced. You have people, telling me, "Are you sure you ready for, bro?" And I don't share. I don't just be out here just telling everybody, "Oh, I'm about to get married." No, because
right.
I don't need everybody putting things in my head. Because at the end of the day, this is me and hers. I have a responsibility. She has a responsibility, and if we fulfill our responsibilities, we're gonna be fine. Literally,
Mm,
yeah,
wow, man, that's amazing. The maturity and the growth there is wild. And
yeah,
she's seen both sides of you, and
yeah,
that's the testimony right there. She's been there through both sides, and she can tell people, you know what, even when she's giving her testimony, I met him this way, I was this way, and now look at us, now
mm,
look what God has built up through
right,
us.
yeah, yeah. It's
Talking
I think.
different, I'm acting different, like it's
Right,
crazy.
right, and I think right now, even just in where we are now, bro, just the building, like
Yeah,
we're literally in the dirt phase of building a house, bro. We know the foundation is set. Our foundation is
mhm,
set, but we're in that, like, we're just pouring the dirt, pouring the cement, and it's so like like I know where you want to be, Lord. I know
mhm.
what I want, you know. But there's still things that I'm working through, just from my past, just for like getting myself together in a sense. Because like, when you say, "Oh, I want to be married," sometimes you're not ready worldly wise. What the world deems is like, you're ready for marriage. No, I'm not.
Right,
But spiritually, I'm 100% ready, and I think that is you need to be ready spiritually. Yes, you need to have certain things as a man, 100%. The basics: a home, a car, and a sense of financial stuff coming in. That's 100%, right. You want to focus on those things. But when I
yeah,
got my spiritual together, I'm like, yeah, I get it, because that's the guideline. I don't have role models on how to be a husband. I've never seen a husband in my life. I've never been to a wedding. But I've always had the thought of like, I'm gonna be a husband one day. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. But I'm gonna be one. But yeah, bro, it's this concrete phase is not easy, because it's like when you think about Jesus performing his first miracle in public, the water into wine, bro. People had to go get that water.
yeah,
Imagine being the person going to get that water. Like, bro, I'm walking all this way to get some water. Like, what am I
right.
doing? Right. So it's like in this phase of like pouring concrete, it's like the small things. Like, bro, I'm not saying I'm it's dragging, but it's like, man, like I see it. I know this is the concrete phase. I know this is like the beginning phase, but it's like, man, I know where we're gonna be. I'm excited for it, but it's just like I gotta pour the concrete. I can't start building a house on dirt and it's gonna fall, right? Like even if our foundation is Christ, sometimes when you start building too early, it's like, okay, let's let's do it step by step, blueprint. Take it slow, So
Yeah.
even when it comes to marriage counseling, that's part of that concrete. It's like, do I want to do that? Physically, no, but spiritually, I know it's the correct thing to do. So let's do it. Let's sit down, talk with the pastor, and for half many weeks, and do it, because that's the correct thing to do. I didn't know that was a step. I thought it was just propose, marriage, la 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 la. No, there's a thing. I'm like, dang, okay, So yeah, we're in that stage, just pouring concrete and just thanking the Lord every day for us to even have the concrete to pour.
I get it, man. I get it. So what does the next 3 to 5 years look like for you? I know you obviously said you want to have a family,
Yeah,
professionally and then relationship wise. What does the next couple years look like for you?
man, that is like, believe it or not, that's a hard question, because I'm such a like in the now type of person. That'd be so hard to look in the future, but I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I see my family, and I seen her, bro. Like years ago, I seen her.
Okay.
It'd be messed up trying to get to the exact person, but I seen her. So it's like I know what I see, and God wouldn't keep putting it in my mind for no reason. So like I see success, right? I see the Lord building something through my marriage, though, and I had to get there. So there's like so many times where I'm like, I was almost there. I was
Yeah.
almost I was almost about to make this amount of money. You know, I was about to go on this endeavor, but it was just something missing. And it was showing through like my collaborations last year that I wasn't getting that I was praying for, because I would have got those. I would have used the money for something totally different, right? Trying to please something totally different.
Wow.
That now that I'm here, bro, I've been getting crazy collaborations, and I've been doing what I was supposed to been doing, what I was supposed to do with that money, and all that. Like, it's just crazy what God can, his how he becomes a provider when you become more wise and you can see it. Like, okay, yeah, I probably did need that right there, and I actually do see why you kept that away from me. You know,
Yeah.
so I think in the next 3 to 5 years, bro, it's gonna come fast, because just the transitional phase of you know, being a boyfriend, being single, going through courtship, now being a fiance, about to be a husband, it's all going so fast that, like, I even tell her, like, yo, you're doing amazing. She's like, Elijah, what are you talking about? Like, I don't, like, she's kind of hard on herself. I'm like, you're doing amazing. Like, you don't have to do anything for me to be proud of you. You're doing amazing though, because this is such a quick transition. Like, we're transitioning so quickly, and I want to let you know that you're doing amazing, because it's not easy. You know, like,
Mm.
you went
Come on.
from being courtship to a fiance to a wife. Like, those aren't easy titles to uphold and jump into. You're not gonna be a wife the next night. No, you're growing. So I'm proud
At that age,
of the age.
that's
Yeah,
that that's what's mind blowing to me. It's at that age, the transitions that y'all are going through. But go ahead. I just wanted to say
yeah.
that.
Just the transitions, man, and so the next 3 to 5 years is gonna be. I know they're gonna be quick transitions. Even if they aren't, you know, this is just my human words. Even if they aren't, I'm still gonna be obedient. But I'm just in a space where wherever God needs me to be, bro, I'll be there. You know, even if it's just lowering myself in some categories. You know, and I know my wife's gonna be. I'm with you, because I know who you talk. I know who you talk to. I know who you speak to. She sees it. You know, I'm reading to her on FaceTime. I'm doing my Bible studies with her on FaceTime, because that's what I have to do. Even if she's lacking in some areas when it comes to her spiritual, sometimes come on. I'll read to you. I'll share with you what I read. Maybe I can spark that fire back. You know, because we can't lose the fire. You my wife. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get that fire going. But yeah, bro, I don't want to put necessarily dates and times on things, but I 100% know that God's gonna lead me where I gotta be, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. You know, there's so much that me and her are thinking about doing, that it's just like, I couldn't tell you where we ain't gonna be living in 3 to 5 years. I know we're gonna be okay, but just like when it comes to what we want to, like what we want to do into the world, bro, it's only God can tell you, because He ain't
Only
tell
God
me.
can tell you. He's gonna give you the vision, bro.
Yeah,
He's gonna give you the vision. He's. I appreciate God so much because I like the stuff that I'm doing now wasn't on my vision board for my life.
mm-hmm.
And if you would have asked me 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I would have been like, nah, this ain't it. I tell people all the time, bro. Like having a daughter, being married, building the house, building up our business and stuff like that. That's not something that I even anticipated or would have even dreamed of. So I like the path that you're on. You just gotta, even when you don't know, you just gotta trust God's vision, man, and He's
Yeah,
gonna give it to you. You're doing the right things, man. You are
yeah,
doing the right things. You're leading yourself. You're already leading. You're already providing those husband capabilities
right,
without even being a husband right now.
right,
Your fiance is already providing those wife capabilities without even being a wife. So I feel like you guys are going to be able to step into it and transition into it smoothly. And
yeah,
from there, God is going to lead you and give you the vision that not only you will accept, but she will follow because she knows that you are listening to God. She,
yeah,
she knows that you're not going to steer her in the wrong direction because you're being steered by Him.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
So I would just tell you, bro, like, and being older and just really just, if I had to give you some words of wisdom and some encouragement, I would tell you that number one, you are doing great, bro. Like at your age, you're wise beyond your years, man.
yeah,
You're doing great, and I would just tell you, man, if you keep God first, you sacrifice, you compromise, and you die to self, and you're selfless, bro. your marriage is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Both you guys have to have a selfless mentality, and your
Yeah.
character has to be there. And if you do that, bro, like I'm telling you, y'all are gonna grow old together. You will grow old together, like
Yes.
that, and that's the goal anyway. But there's certain things that have to fall into place in order for that to happen. So many people get divorced. So many people give up easily just because expectations aren't being met, or expectations fell way short of what they thought they should be.
Yes, sir.
But the problem is that the expectations were already off from the jump. You had the wrong expectations from the jump, so there was no way we were going to work out in the first place.
Hmm.
Your expectation should be that I am going to follow God and do what I need to do, but also I'm going to put myself in a selfless mentality and think about her needs, even a lot of times before the needs of your own.
Hmm.
You know, this is how marriage works, bro. It's not just about, well, what can you do for me, or what haven't you done for me? It's about, what can I do for you?
Right.
And the type of unconditional love where you don't expect everything that you do in return, but you
Hmm.
pray to God to soften both of your hearts, and from there He's gonna work His magic. But I'm telling you, bro, you do those things, you compromise and sacrifice and die to self, you're gonna
Hmm.
be good, dog. You're gonna
Yeah.
be good, bro.
I'm already seeing it, man.
Yeah, you're gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good because you already have the foundation, like you said, and once you have that foundation, bro, you can build anything on that.
Anything. You can take
Anything,
something to and rebuild. Hey, we can rebuild it, you know. But that
dude.
foundation is important, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you, man. You do like I said, at your age, man, you are doing great. Wise beyond your years, bro.
I appreciate you, man. I'm glad it's happening now at 27 and not at 37, 47. I'll take it. I'll take 27, you know, even though it's a lot to carry sometimes. I'll take it, you know, and just do well with it.
No, for sure, for sure. Well, I'm gonna get you out of here on this question. It's a question I always like to ask to conclude the episodes. But let's say you're talking to 20-year-old Elijah, and he is just trying to navigate life right now. He's kind of going through some of the same struggles and similarities that you went through when you were at that age. And he comes to you and he's like, man, I don't know how to navigate this thing. I want to just give up. Things are not working out the way that I thought that they would in my life. And like, I just want to just give up. And he comes to you advice. What would you tell him? What's
Keep
one
talking.
piece of advice that you would give him?
I would say keep talking. I dealt with a stutter for my entire life. I always stuttered, and I still stutter to this day. But I would tell them to keep on talking because there are people that need what you are speaking about. You know,
Mm,
don't tell you what you're gonna go through. I'm not gonna tell you what God's gonna need from you. But I would tell you to keep talking, right? Keep talking, keep speaking. And one day you're gonna have people listening to what you say, from what you've grown through, from what you are going through. But yeah, simply keep talking. You know, because I talk a lot. I make hundreds of videos a freaking week, maybe, just talking about my faith and what I've gone through and giving people encouragement. If I don't take that advice, the older version of myself don't take that advice, I would be quiet and I wouldn't know what I would be doing right now. Right? Maybe
yeah.
I'll do what God tells me to do, but probably wouldn't be doing this because I don't want to stutter, you know. So now I talk on social media in front of millions of people. I don't stutter.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That is awesome, man.
bro.
And I think the more you open up to people, the more opportunity you have for someone to be a support system for you. The more you have the opportunity for someone to be that outlet for you so they can be that support system. A
Right.
lot of times people don't know how to be support systems because they're not an outlet. I don't know what you're going through, so I don't know how to help you. You got
Mm-hmm.
to be able to open up your mouth and talk. So I can be that support system. So I can be that person that gives you encouragement and motivation and talks you off the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. Keep talking, open up,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
all our stories are going to be a testimony to somebody.
Right.
Even if
Somebody.
it's just one person,
Yep.
e- man, one person, even if it's
If you could change one person's life, man, you change a life. Like that's someone that can. When God asks you, "What'd you do with your time on Earth?" I got one life. I got somebody behind me. You know, I rather show up with one behind me than none. Right? And what I do with my time, I don't know.
Well, last thing I'll tell you, bro, is if you need anything, I'll be a support system for you, bro. If you need to talk, you got any questions, whatever the case may be, just hit me up, reach out to me, because we gotta, as brothers, we gotta be here for each other. You
Yeah,
know, we gotta strengthen each other. So, but man, this was good, man. Appreciate you coming on and giving your journey and perspective, and just talking about your journey, man. I appreciate that, bro.
for sure, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, yeah. And make sure you following us on IG where we post reels from the episodes. And if you can't follow us, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts at Flip That Switch. So whether you're watching us or listening to us, just make sure you're tapping in. And if you have a story that you want to get out there, you think it'll be good to get on the show, please hit me in the comments. I'd love to have do an episode with you, get your story out. So if that's you, make sure you hit me in the comments. But Elijah, keep doing what you're doing, bro. And we're gonna keep in touch. I definitely want to see where your journey takes you, and we'll be in touch with you, bro.
For sure. Thank you so much, man.
All right, thank you, and we're gonna see y'all for the next episode. We out. Peace.